Hey, have you ever felt that spark in your relationship fading into routine? Wondering if a bold adventure could reignite it, or if it might unravel everything you thought you knew? Picture this: a luxurious retreat promising to unlock hidden desires. Would you convince your partner to dive in, or does the mystery of what lies beneath make you hesitate? Before we plunge into the captivating world of Secrets of Summer from 2023, a film that masterfully weaves temptation and truth in ways that hit right at the core of every relationship's unspoken tensions, hit that subscribe button now and smash the like. If you're hooked on stories that mirror the secrets we all carry, your support fuels these exclusive deep dives tailored to what makes a script truly unforgettable and keeps the channel delivering more edge-of-your-seat analyses just like this one. The story unfolds in a sun-kissed suburban haven where Summer, the film's resilient and radiant protagonist, navigates her days with a subtle undercurrent of longing, her vibrant energy clashing against the monotony of a marriage grown stale. Dylan, her devoted yet drained husband, trudges home from his demanding law firm role, his exhaustion creating an invisible wall that dims their once fiery connection. A setup the screenplay crafts with exquisite restraint, using lingering shots of empty dinner tables and unspoken glances to evoke the quiet erosion of intimacy. This opening act shines in its narrative economy, drawing viewers into Summer's world by reflecting those universal moments when passion slips away unnoticed, positioning her not as a villain, but as a woman reclaiming her vitality in a script that comments brilliantly on how neglect fosters quiet desperation without ever tipping into cliché. One transformative evening, Summer stumbles upon her close friend Steph, locked in a fervent embrace, an accidental glimpse that ignites a cascade of curiosity and candid conversations about spicing life beyond the ordinary. The director's choice of raw, handheld camera work here captures Summer's wide-eyed intrigue with pulse-quickening precision, a pivotal beat that script experts hail as the inciting incident done right. Organic, visually charged, and layered with subtext about how glimpsed freedoms can awaken dormant yearnings in the most stable lives. Summer, ever resourceful, dives into research on unconventional escapes, her determination propelling the plot with authentic momentum as the writers embed early hints of the retreat's dual nature, a paradise of possibility laced with peril, hooking audiences by making her pursuit feel both daring and deeply human. With a mix of hope and nerves, Summer persuades a reluctant Dylan to embark on this experimental retreat. A lavish sanctuary nestled amid rolling hills and shimmering pools that pulses with an electric vibe of liberated souls mingling under perpetual twilight glows. Upon arrival, the resort's opulent sprawl, think cascading waterfalls feeding infinity edges and lantern-lit paths winding through tropical foliage, visually telegraphs the theme of boundless exploration, a location choice that elevates the screenplay's symbolic depth by mirroring the couple's leap into uncharted emotional waters. Summer's face lights up with anticipation, her steps light as she imagines this as their rebirth, while Dylan's tight jaw hints at brewing reservations, a dynamic the script balances masterfully to foster empathy for both, commenting on how one partner's boldness can either bridge or widen relational gaps. Enter Simon, the retreat's suave and enigmatic host, whose commanding charisma sweeps over newcomers like a warm breeze, personally greeting Summer and Dylan with a disarming smile and an overview of the philosophy centered on trust-building adventures that peel back layers of the self. This introduction is screenplay gold, positioning Simon as a catalyst whose polished allure subtly echoes Summer's suppressed desires, with dialogue laced in velvet ambiguity that foreshadows entanglements ahead. An original narrative stroke that transforms a simple welcome into a tension-building promise. As they unpack in their sun-flooded suite overlooking vine-draped terraces, the air thickens with possibility. The writers using environmental details like scented candles and mirrored walls to subconsciously amplify themes of reflection and revelation, pulling viewers deeper into the seductive setup. The inaugural group gathering in a softly illuminated pavilion draws couples into a circle of shared vulnerabilities, where tales of relational rebirth flow freely, prompting Summer and Dylan to tentatively open up amid the symphony of candid laughter. Tight editing interweaves these confessions with atmospheric glimpses of intertwined silhouettes beyond the firelight, crafting a rhythmic build that immerses the audience in the retreat's intoxicating ethos without overwhelming the pace. Here, the script delves profoundly into consent's nuances, portraying openness as a double bind that can forge unbreakable bonds or expose fragile fault lines. A commentary that resonates with modern relational dynamics and keeps the narrative humming with intellectual intrigue alongside its sensual pull. Nights deepen into guided pairings where Summer gravitates toward Simon's expert facilitation of sensory exercises, each touch and whisper rekindling sensations long dormant, their rapport sparking like flint on steel in moon-washed gardens. Cinematography blooms with golden hour lenses and languid pans that romanticize these encounters, inviting viewers to ponder with Summer whether this is marital salvation or a seductive detour. A midpoint twist the screenplay executes with surgical precision, shifting from therapy to temptation while layering Simon's cryptic backstory through shadowed micro-expressions. Original insight. This arc humanizes the forbidden by rooting it in psychological realism, where external sparks illuminate internal voids, a timeless trope refreshed with contemporary emotional acuity that grips tighter with every frame. Meanwhile, Dylan uncovers untapped vigor through connections with vibrant attendees like the effervescent Didi and elegant Maya, his laughter echoing freer than in months as he sheds his corporate shell in poolside chats and starlit games. Parallel montages cross-cut his awakenings with Summer's, a directorial flourish that underscores the retreat's symmetrical temptations, ensuring the script avoids one-dimensional blame by dissecting mutual drifts born of complacency. Commentary. This equilibrium elevates the narrative, transforming a simple love triangle into a multifaceted exploration of how shared neglect invites parallel betrayals, sustaining suspense through mirrored journeys that demand investment in every character. Subtle frictions emerge during a twilight pool soiree where Summer and Simon sway to hypnotic rhythms, her fingers tracing his arm in a moment that lingers beyond propriety. The swelling score of velvet bass amplifying the gravitational pull. The writers infuse Simon's inquiries about her wildest dreams with probing depth, turning flirtation into philosophical foreplay that reveals Summer's agency amid marital haze. A sequence that captivates by portraying her not as victim, but voyager. Profound analysis. This beat functions as Act Two's rising action peak, where subtext surges to surface tension, commenting astutely on desire's evolutionary role in long-term bonds and hooking spectators with its blend of heat and heart. Returning to their suite, Dylan detects Summer's transformed glow, igniting a fervent reconnection shadowed by unvoiced echoes of Simon's influence in her reverie. Post-embrace close-ups etch her conflicted bliss across her features, a visual poetry that captures guilt's flicker without dialogue, showcasing the screenplay's trust in silent storytelling to convey relational undercurrents. Strength here lies in observational neutrality, letting audiences impose their ethics on the ambiguity, a technique that prolongs engagement by mirroring real-life gray zones where satisfaction wars with loyalty. The retreat's masquerade crescendo blurs faces and inhibitions alike, with Summer, veiled in mystery, partnering Simon for boundary-testing rituals that unearth mutual scars amid whispered confessions under chandelier glows. His revelations of personal heartaches humanize the host, scripting him as flawed mirror to Summer's turmoil and adding narrative richness that rewards dissection. Insight. This vulnerability pivot nods to character-driven thrillers, where charm cracks to expose motive, deepening the plot's psychological stakes and ensuring emotional whiplash keeps pulses racing. Dylan's orbit overlaps with Steph's familiar warmth, their history easing into playful banter that stirs dormant sparks, jealousy glinting as he catches Summer's faraway stares across banquet halls. Montages of mounting intimacies weave these strands without excess, a taut Chekhov's arsenal primed for payoff that heightens every glance exchanged. Script acclaim. This interlacing prevents predictability, using relational symmetry to critique how opportunities flourish in vacuums, maintaining a thriller's edge beneath the romance. Halfway through, Summer unburdens to Simon about Dylan's chronic absence during a riverside dusk stroll, his attentive gaze offering the validation her marriage lacks, culminating in a breathless near crossing halted by fidelity's tether. Unsteady handheld shots pulse with raw immediacy, marking this as the Act 2 summit, where inevitability looms. An escalation masterclass that ratchets peril organically. Brilliance. The near miss reframes prior innocence as prelude, inviting speculation on loyalty's elasticity in a script attuned to human frailty. Guest murmurs unveil Simon's pattern of intimate oversteps with past visitors, fueling Summer's turmoil as she pens fevered journal entries that voice over fragments, granting rare interior access amid the external whirl. This introspective tool enriches without stalling, positioning Summer as self-aware architect of her crossroads. Original note, it empowers her arc, contrasting communal hedonism with solitary truth-seeking, a layered commentary on isolation amid crowds that deepens thematic resonance. Dylan, in solitary contemplation, confronts his work-life imbalance, vowing renewal only to find Summer vanished into evening mists, spurring a charged sweet dialogue brimming with veiled barbs and bare truths. Terse exchanges crackle with authenticity, distilling mid-marriage malaise into potent exchanges lauded for realism. Praise. Groundwork ensures catharsis feels forged, not forced, amplifying emotional authenticity. Approaching the apex gala of uninhibited celebration, motives muddle as Summer and Simon scheme a gesture for Dylan, the prep montage's frenetic cuts compressing conflicts into powder keg form. Electric buildup critiques facilitation's fringes, where guidance veers to manipulation. Commentary. Event as crucible brilliantly spotlights philosophy's ironic backlash. The gala explodes in masked ecstasy, whirling dancers, effervescent toasts, forms merging in liberated cadence, with Summer and Dylan briefly recapturing magic on the floor, only for Simon's orbit to eclipse it in a secluded nook shattering facades. Shadow-dappled revelations and staccato edits intensify fallout, pivoting therapy to trial. Analysis unmasks experiments, unearthed wounds over healed ones, a sharp relational scalpel. Dylan's eavesdropped snippets of Summer's admissions trigger sweet showdown, recriminations blending tears and truths on unmet yearnings. Peak screenplay distills motifs into raw oratory exposing cores. Insight. Prior scaffolding earns visceral release, eschewing soap for substance. Simon discloses retreat's selective webs, recasting charm as scheme in a twist reframing history. Genre elevation from dalliance to mind game rewards revisits. Comment. Archetype to antagonist shift injects propulsion. Summer navigates crossroads amid Didi's cautions and Hart's haste toward Simon. Flashbacks of sacrifices illuminating cycles. Fracturing motifs symbolize trust's shards, tapestry weaving nonlinearity. Praise. Profundity via glimpses elevates beyond linear. Dylan allies with Alex to unearth Simon's precedents. Evidence montage thriller infusing urgency. Balance via his agency critiques unchecked sway. Take. Subplot symmetrizes, probing charisma's shadows. Climactic right demands truths. Summer torn by Simon's draw. Dylan's recommitment. Cascades reveal histories. Circle judging irony-laden philosophy. Staging meta-comments, communal verdict. Analysis. Crossroads crystallizes growth's cost. Denouement sees Summer opt clarity, rebuffing Simon for Dylan's evolved embrace. Departing reshaped with redrawn lines. Rearview shrink symbolizes evolution. Finale. Resolute ambiguity sparks discourse on trials tempering. Secrets of Summer masterfully carves desire's blade with unflagging acuity. A 2023 triumph mosaicing allure. Unmasking. Renewal to ensnare from fade-in. Originality humanizes quests, affirming aired secrets liberate. Would you risk such a retreat for revival? Or glimpse peril too plainly? Share below. What twist hit hardest? And subscribe for more script dissections that unravel the heart's enigmas.